Are we living in the last days? It's a question that has echoed through generations. But what if I told you that 5 ancient prophecies aren't just whispers from the past, but are unfolding right before our eyes, right now, in 2025? Forget what you think you know. The signs are clearer than ever, and some of them are happening in ways no one could have predicted. We were going to break down 5 specific prophecies that seem to be coming to pass with breathtaking speed. And the 5th one, well, let's just say it hits closer to home than you might imagine. Stick with me because what you're about to hear will change the way you see the world around you. First, let's talk about the prophecy of rising global control. For centuries, interpreters have spoken of a time when a single power or system would exert unprecedented influence over the entire world. In the past, this seemed like a logistical impossibility. How could one entity manage every nation, every economy, every person? But look around you in 2025. We're witnessing the rapid creation of interconnected global systems. International bodies are making decisions that impact every country on Earth. From health policies to economic regulations, we see calls for global standards, unified digital IDs, and centralized governance to solve global problems like climate change and pandemics. The technology is no longer a barrier. It's the very tool making this level of control possible. Think about international agreements and how they're increasingly shaping national laws. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a documented shift in global politics. A move towards a one-world system of governance is no longer science fiction. It's a headline. The pieces are being moved into place on a global chessboard, creating a framework that perfectly aligns with ancient predictions of a unified world power. The question is no longer if it could happen, but how soon it will be fully realized. The second prophecy that's impossible to ignore is the increase in natural disasters. Ancient texts describe a time of turmoil on Earth, with famines and earthquakes in various places. For a long time, people might have dismissed this, saying there have always been earthquakes and storms, but what we're seeing now is different. It's not just their occurrence, it's their frequency and intensity. We're in 2025, and every season seems to bring a new, unprecedented weather event. Record-breaking floods in one part of the world, devastating wildfires in another. Droughts are becoming more severe, threatening global food supplies and leading to warnings of famine. Scientists are talking about climate tipping points and irreversible changes to our planet. Insurance companies are recalculating risk models because the 100-year storm is now happening every few years. It feels like the planet itself is groaning. The sheer scale of these events, happening simultaneously across the globe, is exactly what was described thousands of years ago, not as isolated incidents, but as a convergence of signs, like birth pains, increasing in frequency and intensity, signaling that something new is coming. Now, let's move on to the third prophecy, and this one is tied directly to technology. The rise of digital money. Prophecies speak of a system when no one can buy or sell without a specific mark or approval. For most of history, this was unimaginable. How could you possibly control every single transaction, from buying a house to buying a loaf of bread? Well, welcome to the age of digital currency. We are on the brink of a cashless society. Physical money is being phased out in favor of digital transactions that can be tracked, traced, and, if necessary, controlled. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are no longer a fringe idea. They're being developed and tested by major world governments right now. Proponents say they're efficient and secure, but think about the implications. A fully digital, centralized currency gives governments the power to monitor every single purchase you make. And more than that, it gives them the power to freeze your assets or even block your ability to transact if you don't comply with certain mandates or ideologies. The technology for a global system where you can't buy or sell without permission is not only here, it's being rolled out under the banner of progress and convenience. The framework is being built, piece by piece. The fourth sign is one of the most subtle, but also one of the most dangerous. Widespread deception. The prophecies warned that in the last days, deception would be so convincing that it could mislead even the most discerning. We were told to watch out for a great falling away, where truth would become relative and confusion would reign. What does that look like in 2025? It looks like a world where objective truth is under constant attack. It's the age of my truth versus your truth. It's the era of deep, where you can't even believe your own eyes or ears. Artificial intelligence can now create realistic videos and audio of people saying things they never said. Misinformation and disinformation spread like wildfire on social media, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Leaders and influencers twist words and redefine meanings to fit their agendas. There's a growing confusion about what is right and wrong, what is real and what is fake. This isn't just a simple disagreement on opinions, it's a fundamental erosion of the very concept of truth. This environment of mass confusion and deception creates the perfect conditions for a society to accept lies as truth, paving the way for figures and ideologies that are built on falsehoods, just as the ancient scriptures warned. And now for the fifth and final prophecy, the one I mentioned at the beginning. This one might be the most shocking because it's not about outside forces. It's about what's happening within communities of faith. It's the prophecy of the great falling away of believers. Ancient writings warned that in the end times, many who claimed to have faith would abandon it. They would no longer endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions. We are seeing this happen on a massive scale. We see churches and spiritual leaders compromising on core beliefs to be more popular or culturally acceptable. We see a rise in a feel-good, watered-down spirituality that removes any talk of accountability, repentance, or absolute truth. It's a designer faith where people pick and choose what they want to believe, creating a version of spirituality that makes them comfortable but doesn't challenge them to change. The solid rock of historical faith is being traded for the shifting sands of cultural trends. This isn't an attack from the outside, it's a crumbling from within, and it is perhaps the most heartbreaking sign of all, as people who once held to the truth willingly turn away from it in favor of something easier and more palatable. So, there you have it, the rise of global control, the surge in natural disasters, the creation of a cashless society, the explosion of deception, and the falling away from true faith. These aren't isolated events. They are interconnected pieces of a puzzle, a convergence of signs foretold thousands of years ago. We are the first generation in history to see all of these prophecies beginning to be fulfilled at the same time, thanks in large part to technology that simply didn't exist before. Now, this information isn't meant to scare you, but to awaken you. It's a call to be aware, to be discerning, and to look at the world with open eyes. The question is, what do we do with this knowledge? How do we navigate a world where these prophecies are becoming our reality? The answer to that is perhaps the most important journey of all. It starts with seeking the truth, anchoring yourself in something solid when everything else is shifting, and deciding what you truly believe. But here's the cliffhanger. While these 5 signs are powerful, there is another, 6th prophecy that is often overlooked. It's a prophecy that speaks not of collapse, but of a great awakening. It suggests that at the same time all this darkness is rising, something else will be rising too. A movement of hope, truth, and light that will shine brightest just when things seem darkest. Want to know what that is? I'll be breaking that down in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. If this opened your eyes, please hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss our next video on the Great Awakening. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And let me know in the comments which of these signs you see most clearly in the world today. Stay vigilant, and I'll see you in the next one.